Hello there, my Battlefield friends and fans, and anyone who is new to my channel. Welcome to Battlefield 5. We just had a really big update a couple of days ago, and I've introduced the first new assault rifle yesterday, and now we're talking about one of the new guns for the support class, which is the CHAUCHAT, which you can see right here. I just applied some specializations. I played about 3 matches before this match to kind of get used to the gun, warm up, and just kind of see how it does. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised how much I like it. I know I used it in Battlefield 1 many times, but I can't say I was like a fan of it. I never considered it to be like a bad weapon, but it was definitely not the weapon of choice for me, even though a lot of people absolutely love this gun. And this is definitely not a map where I ever use this kind of type of weapon, and not because it's wrong, it's just, to me, like huge maps like this call for like a rifle or a sniper rifle, a regular rifle, sniper rifle, whatever, anything where you can put a long range scope on it and where you can be pretty precise with your shots. But I was thinking I'm gonna kind of give myself a little challenge here and force myself to literally use this gun in every single match that evening. And you know what? I have to say I had so much fun, because I don't usually get as many kills because I'm more like a laid-back player. I play very tactical, so I usually just kind of stake out areas. I kind of point them out to my team. I support my team with ammo and meds, that kind of stuff. I take out one enemy here, maybe one enemy there, but I'm not usually going for like huge amounts of kills. And in this case, all of a sudden I had this gun now. I was kind of like more in the mix all of a sudden, and I'm like, hey, I can actually finally be where the action is, because I can just kind of like spray when somebody comes at me, which is not always easy when you have, you know, a rifle where you have to reload after each shot, and you miss the first one, you're pretty much dead. If someone comes at you with an SMG or any other fully automatic weapon. So I was like, this is so much fun. I'm gonna have to actually do that with all the new guns, one by one. I have tried the assault one. I really like it. And so far, I really like the CHAUCHAT. It does get a little bit used to, though, to the very slow rate of fire. And it's also one thing that I noticed, that, you know, the ADS is quite slow. It takes a long time for the gun to actually start firing. And you won't necessarily see that in this video, but when you compare it to other guns that you use to other fully automatic guns, they react a lot faster. And so far I haven't seen anything in the specializations that you can add to improve that. So it's basically just, you kind of have to just choose your fights. There's a bunch of gunfights that I lost because the other person just had a much faster weapon, and there's really absolutely nothing I could do, while this guy had already 20 bullets in me. I just about had like 3 bullets in the other guy, and if it wasn't a headshot, I just lost every time. But that's just something to get used to, and over time you just kind of know how to handle those kind of situations, and maybe just kind of like, you know, prone or quickly find some cover and then take your shots when you know for sure you can actually get a headshot or a sure kill when the other guy doesn't know exactly where you are and you have an advantage. And actually, when I was kind of like researching the CHAUCHAT a little bit again, I think I did that last time when I played Battlefield 1, but I was just kind of curious to read up about it again. And I found this article where it says, meet the CHAUCHAT, the worst machine gun ever made. Okay then. The CHAUCHAT was actually pronounced CHAUCHAT by American troops, and it was officially known as Lee Fusil Mitrailleur 1915 CSRG. Man, who can say all that? That's a really long name. It says it was a fully automatic weapon. It weighed 20 pounds, loaded, fired standard French army rifle bullets, and came equipped with a 20-round magazine. It represented a huge leap in firepower over the standard French infantry rifle of the time, a bolt-action rifle designed in 1886 that held only 8 rounds. The CHAUCHAT was developed in response to the battlefield conditions of the First World War. CHAUCHAT had several promising useful features. For one, it packed a lot of firepower into a relatively light package. The gun was easy to produce, so easy a bicycle company could do it. But unfortunately, the CHAUCHAT turned out to be terribly unreliable. Under ideal conditions, a clean, well-maintained CHAUCHAT would jam after firing 300 rounds. Under field conditions, in the dirt and the mud of trenches of the Western Front, it would jam after 100 rounds. Here's the problem. Anyone who had to fire 100 rounds in combat most likely was in trouble and needed to keep firing. He was often in for a disappointment. Despite its many flaws, substantial improvements weren't incorporated into new models until after the war. But the CHAUCHAT soldiered on. 3 American soldiers won the Medal of Honor with the CHAUCHAT. Not surprisingly, one recipient, Private Thomas Nabar, had his CHAUCHAT jam after only 50 rounds while facing a horde of 50 attacking Germans and was knocked unconscious for his trouble while fleeing his broken weapon. It's clear that if the CHAUCHAT could have been replaced, it would have been. But it could not be replaced. There was nothing to replace it with. The Allies were in a bind and it was better than nothing. They had failed to anticipate the battlefield and develop the proper weapons, and it cost them dearly. They had neglected to realize that the revolution in firepower the machine gun delivered could be and would be delegated down to the individual infantryman. It's worth remembering there's also no guarantee with ever continuing improvements in weaponry and war machinery that it won't happen again. I'm actually curious to find out if this gun has even been used in World War II at all, especially since it failed so badly in World War I. But it seems like it actually did pop up a few times. It says when the Third Reich invaded Poland in 1939, that's when World War II started. Belgium and France in 1940 and Greece in 1941. Thousands of serviceable CHAUCHAT light machine guns were captured and placed in service. So I guess they were just like, hey, you know, we need guns, and the more the better. There's actually a lot more to read up about this gun, and it's very interesting. There's actually collectors that collected this gun in the 1950s and so on. It's very interesting, but enough about this now. This was actually a really interesting match if you've been following it while I was babbling here. We had a really hard time fighting the enemy here. They kept taking the flags. We had a hard time keeping up with them, and at this point it looks actually really good, and it looks like we are actually even winning, because when you look on the top you can see that the enemy is almost done. And that was very surprising, because almost all match I was literally thinking this is one of those lost causes, and you know, those are like the best matches where you actually, you know, do your best, you work really hard, and even if it looks like you're not gonna win, like last minute it kind of turns around, and now it's kind of like head to head. We're still kind of a little bit ahead of them, but it is like almost equal now. They have 16, we have 31, so we have twice as many men still alive, or tickets, whatever, however you want to look at this. It's actually tickets. So we are now 13 to 26. We're still 50% ahead. So it can only be a matter of seconds here. Uh-oh, and we have them launch a bomb now, which I think it was the enemy. Yeah, we're still twice as many tickets. So we actually look, we're about to win this thing, 14-7. Come on, we can do this. Let's do this. Come on. We can do this. 10-5. I cannot believe it. Look at that. We're always like twice as much. We have twice as many tickets. Still 8-3, 6-3, 5-3. Oh no, this does not look good. No, no, no. 3-1. Come on, we have one ticket. We can do this. No, 1-1. And we lost. Can you believe it? We lost by one ticket. That was so tight, but that was an amazing match. I hope you enjoyed it too. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Give me some feedback if you want. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.